Hey everybody, it's Doug Green and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and I'm with the amazing Jeff Pulver. Jeff, thanks for dropping by.
Thanks for having me.
So we are recording this live from the Cloud Connections event, Cloud Communications Alliance. Jeff, you're about to have an event of your own next week. It's going to be about vCon.
Yeah, it's all about virtualized conversations, and this is the first ever dedicated event in the world looking at what a vCon is and why it's important. Also looking at a sister protocol known as SCIT for supply chain integrity, transparency, and trust. And for any of you listening that are looking for what's truly new in the world of communications, for that matter, in business, a lot of businesses have been familiar with AI growing up, perhaps most importantly since November 22, when ChatGPT came into the world, and all these other LLMs or large language models followed. And these days, it's hard to go a day without a major player announcing news. But if you're wondering, what could I do with AI in my business? 2 words: virtualized conversations. And if you're a service provider, if you're corporate IT, if you're somebody who's trying to figure out how to manage unstructured data, or even better, take recorded conversations, whether they're voice conversations, emails, text, messages, and put them together and gain insights, it's all about the vCon. And so for next week in Hyannis, Massachusetts, on April 22nd, 23rd, it's first about theory and practice from the people creating these protocols. And then there's an industry stand-up on the 23rd where people are announcing or have announced product and services. And the last day is the first ever interop event for people in the vCon space. And when you look at the history of communications, I promise you that April 2025 will be a date that many people will say they were at that event. But I know in truth, only those of you who know about it will be there. Our follow-up event is already known to be October 21st, 23rd, later this year. If you want to get in on the groundwork and you're responsible for driving revenue, look, if you're working at a public company and you want to position your company back up in the right-hand corner of that magic matrix from Gartner, you got to find your way to vCon conference, because if you're into that, not even what's shiny and new, but you want to really understand where AI is going and understand where conversations and where this whole communications industry is shifting, you might want to spend a couple of days with us. I'm not new to this. 30 years ago, I kind of discovered as a hobbyist the idea of talking on the internet. And it was October 95, I launched Free World Dial-Up. That was the first phone network on the internet. And yeah, I may have done Vonage and a few things and around the Von events. And it's been a really long time for me since I found that technology that I believe is the linchpin to opening up brave new revenue streams for so many people. And as broad as AI is, that's how broad a vCon could be. And it's the aha, once you understand the impact of taking information and making it available to others and gaining the insights that you want, because you don't need to use any proprietary models anymore. You don't have to worry about spending millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars for back-end solutions. vCon is a standard brought to you by the IETF. And as a standard, it's interoperable. And if you just come to pulver.com or go to Von Evolution, follow the links. There's a lot of knowledge there. And Doug is one of the early proponents of vCons. And I'm happy to say here at this conference, I'm running into people that are launching their vCon services. People have it on the roadmap. And if you don't know what a vCon is, if you go to thejeffpulver.substack.com, I have a newsletter. It's free, but it's not because there's no value. There's lots of value there. But I'm the CEO of this organization, a new one I call now. It's at the vCon Foundation's as CEO, Chief Evangelist Officer. They didn't offer me a chance to spell it out. See, it's a not doesn't pay well, but I have so much fun evangelizing, because I'm telling you, if you're looking for the future today, it's all about the vCon.
Let's dive into this deeper. So many people. The conference is next week. It's in Boston. It's in Hyannis.
It's about an hour south of Boston.
So that is within driving distance of so many people.
Yes.
And what you're really saying is, hey, listen, a day of your year, get in your car, come and check it out.
Yeah.
Tell me why I should do that.
Well, if you're a CEO of a company and you need to show new revenue growth, if you're a chief product officer, frankly, if you're working in corporate IT and trying to figure out what should your team be focused on, being able to better understand the conversations you're having with your customers, better understanding support calls coming in, better understanding ways to do product development, priceless stuff. Knowledge is power. And what I'm telling you is that by learning about a vCon, and there are open source projects, which we'll be talking about at the event, you learn this, bring it back to your office, and you can now be in a whole new sector. If you happen to service, I don't know, call centers, this is no, if you're in the communication sector, voice over IP is many things, but for many, it's been a drive to zero pricing almost. This is a chance to reverse the trend. Now you get to add value to the information that you're capturing, and that's a game changer. And if you're looking for an AI strategy for your company, it's a game changer. What I promise you is that you come to the event, you will learn something. Frankly, if you come to the event and you don't learn anything new, I'll give you back your registration. Oh my God, did I just say that? I feel that confident that you're gonna learn, you're gonna meet future business partners, and more than anything, you will be inspired. At least I hope so. So it's sort of like that inspiration or money back guarantee. I don't ever say that ever to anyone else. But if you're listening to this podcast and you register and you're not happy, just tell me.
So,
My heart and my soul is at that event.
you know, Jeff, we're hearing nonstop all the time, day and night about AI.
Yeah, all the time.
Why is vCon different?
Because when the AI hype goes away, we do want to remember the conversations we had and the value and knowledge that's there. And so vCon is a file format. It's really all it is. But I don't want to diminish it. It's the first time in the history of business communications that we have a standard file format to capture conversations. That's big. You may wonder why that hasn't not happened before. It's because of all the vendors who had proprietary standards, proprietary formats. Now, when you store your information in let's say in a JSON file format, it doesn't matter which large language model you use, it's interoperable. It doesn't matter what vendor you're using, they're going to be interoperable. What matters is the more you learn, the more you know. As Cy Sims used to say, an educated consumer is his best customer. The more you understand about how you can derive value from conversations, the better you could run your business, the better services you could come up with and sell. And yes, this is new. This is a new opportunity, something which, telecom is such cut and paste these days. Everyone's competing with everyone offering the same feature value.
Right.
Not so much. We now can differentiate. And the cool part of having these files is then the dashboard to the insights you can create. So if you happen to have sector knowledge of a specific industry, you're able to go do a deep dive and create value and drive value in ways that other people don't have and don't know. And it's a game changer. So, AI is with us for the rest of our life. I don't think there's any turning back. As much as, I don't know, if you were in business the day that the spreadsheet came out, the word processor came out, PowerPoint came out, you said, no spreadsheets for me. You may not have a job. Or if you said, I refuse to use Word doc, I refuse to use word processing. I want to use a selectric typewriter forever. We're in the modern era. And in 2025, AI is part of our life. If your business doesn't allow you to use AI at your desktop today, it has to in the future. If you're in corporate IT, vCons are part of that future. If you're offering any type of communication service, there'll be vCons. And here's the rub. You don't have to be in the telecom business to appreciate the value of vCon, because conversations matter, memory matters. And perchance, if you've ever used a chatbot, have you ever noticed they have amnesia? Wouldn't it be cool if chatbots could remember sessions, the conversation between sessions? Well, it turns out that there's a framework I refer to it as memory and trust, where a vCon has the memory, Skit gives you trust. At the conference, we're introducing a framework which we're for fun calling Taffy a trust agent framework for AI. That's instead of saying vCon Skit. And it's a first, and it's an opportunity for people to learn and to do things that it's going to change how they do business. And so for me, this matters because one of the things I've been doing for 30 years is literally helping people see around the corner. What I see around the corner is a world of AI and the tooling needed to get the most value from it. And Skit and vCons, they provide it. And if you're skeptical, come anyway. You might learn something. You might see something. More importantly, you might see a friend of yours doing something you didn't think was possible. And that's what we're all about, is pushing the edge and the envelope of opportunity together. And I do think that 18 months from now, vCons are such a buzzword that certain VCs having these check marks. How many vCon startups do I have in my portfolio? Because it's going to be hot. Trendy, sure, and hot. But here's the best part. Just like voice over IP went through these hype cycles, denial cycles, we still talk. These conversations if you could remember everything you ever spoke about and have, knowledge. I mean, again, going back to the era of the spreadsheet, 10 years later, you had Lotus Notes. Lotus Notes was a good idea. IBM bought Lotus, created Domino. You can have total recall of every email your company ever sent. So whether you're running corporate culture, maybe you're running support, maybe you're doing engineering, being able to reference all past information in a positive way is fairly amazing. And it comes for the price of learning. So 2 days, 1 day, if you only can come 1 day and you're a developer, April 22nd. If you're the business person, you probably want to be there on the 22nd, but definitely the 23rd. And if you're really inspired, hang out for the 24th and test your code with us. The first ever public interop for vCons we're hosting it as well, and that's April 24th.
Jeff, I want to thank you for joining me today. Where can they learn more about this event?
They could go to pulver.com and follow the click for Spring 25 vCon.